Fellas, hello. The other day I made a guide on Freyna, on how to do mobbing. Today I'm gonna focus on a guide on Freyna of how to do bossing. However, I feel like this video is gonna be 5 hours long if I focus on all the bosses and every single build that is possible. So I'm gonna focus on 2 bosses. That's 4 bosses actually. Dead Stalker, Gluttony, Frostwalker and Obstructor. Why? Because this is 2 birds with 1 stone. Obstructor and Dead Stalker are toxin bosses, and Gluttony and Frostwalker are chill bosses. So I prepped a build for you. This is a build I use constantly. I don't go into a boss fight without this build. That's for 2 reasons. One is because it's comfortable and it helps me a lot in staying alive and helping the others. And this is for a casual setting. Okay? But second of all, it's very versatile for most of the bosses, since 40% of the bosses of the game do toxin damage and the other 30% do chill damage. What I'm focusing on is the Dead Stalker and Gluttony, generally speaking, because these are the hardest hitting bosses. And many times when you go with casuals, because you can't do it privately, you're gonna have a problem getting to the end of it. And it's almost never because you don't have the damage. It's almost always because people don't know the mechanics, or you wipe because everybody's dead within the first 2 minutes. First of all, ultimate Freyna. Second of all, venom injection. Okay, venom injection is pretty much unnegotiable because this makes Freyna being one of the hardest shield tanking characters in the game. It's impressive. This is like Enzo, because it gives you a 5% shield recovery per second every time he's active, and this is regardless of taking damage or not. He's never going to get interrupted. Now you also have a 250% toxin resistance, which is a cherry on top, I guess, because that makes you, with this build, around almost 20,000 toxin resistance, which means nothing can really kill you. If you don't have this and you want to farm it, you have to go to the fortress and you have to do the head of the fortress. I think it's called, where the hell is it? And not the quarantine zone. You have to do Heart of the Fortress. Heart of the Fortress is going to give you venom injection and also the toxic mixture, which I still need to get. I farmed this until Kingdom Come and I still didn't get it. But in exchange, I got like 50 of these. So it's okay. But yeah, this is where you get it. It's a 2.5% chance to get it. But you can also level up a bunch of times, as this is the dungeon that gives you the most XP. So it's something positive. Okay? Gotta be positive out here. Anyway, that's pretty much it. So let's go through the mods. You can just copy and go away with it. It's absolutely fine, as long as you know what you're doing. But in case you want to know, we're using about 60% of the build only to tank the shields, to put as much shield as possible. So we're gonna have Steam Accelerant for max HP and increased HP for more HP. Then we're gonna boost up the shield, the base shields as well, and then we're gonna convert more shields. We're gonna lose a bit of HP, but it's fine. And then we're going to convert everything to shields, reducing our HP to 1. So effectively we get 23,000 shield and 1 HP only. Now this goes perfectly well with the venom injection mod, because this effectively is going to make sure that you are always at max shield recovery per second and always at max toxin resistance increase. Now the next thing is this. Once you have your shield and your HP and your conversion done, you need to focus on the damage that you take. Okay, so if you fight Dead Stalker, it's perfect anti-venom and toxic antibody. Perfect anti-venom is, please, always use this at bosses, either perfect anti-venom or if you fight Gluttony, anti-freeze. Please. What this does, frostbite, you don't get frozen in place, so you're not a sitting duck taking the damage and then dying. And perfect anti-venom, you don't get the poison ticks over time, so you don't get your shield or your HP shredded in seconds. Okay, this mod alone is overpowered. It's very good. And then on top of that, toxic antibody if you fight Dead Stalker, cold antibody if you fight Gluttony. Please do keep in mind, I had to do multiple catalysts, so I doubled catalyst around. But that's because the mob build is part of it and the glass cannon build is sort of part of it. So I always do this. I balance my descendants around doing everything as much as possible. Obviously, I'm never gonna do Haley mopping, but you know, they tried with the Transcendent mod, but that's a bit of another day. But yes, perfect anti-venom and toxic antibody for the Deathstalker, which is the latest boss, is the hardest boss, and I'm also going to give a demonstration in about 2 minutes. Okay, once you have this done, so you have enough tank and you have enough resistances, the only thing you need is just to reduce the cost. So maximize conservation and strong mentality, and you reduce the cost as much as you can. This is going to give you a 3.0 MP cost per second. The reason why I have 2.8 is because of the reactor, but I'm going to go into components and reactor in a second. Anyway, strong mentality, maximize conservation, reduce the skill cost. And then energy collection to improve your MP recovery. This is important. So now we're going to go and see why the cost is 2.8 and why energy collection is important. Reactor, skill cost, is going to give you another 0.033, which is 0.3%. So you get another 3% cost reduction, which effectively gives you this 2.8 MP. Look at this. 0.24 MP recovery in combat and 0.14 recovery modifier. This makes so that I recover around 2.7, 2.8 MP, somewhere around there. You don't really care about it. What is important is that this makes sure that your upkeep of this ability, you can keep it for like 15-20 minutes, which is more than what you need. Okay, now you do not go spamming around other abilities so you burn through your MPs, because the only thing you need to do effectively is tank. All the damage is going to get done with your weapon, and it's not going to be some overpowered weapon. You can do with a regular weapon. Okay, that's not the problem. MP recovery modifier is very important on annihilation and HP. Then if you want to have defense or not, it's up to you. And here, MP recovery in combat and max HP. So I would suggest go for chill resistance. This way you have the chill resistance for gluttony as well, okay? And you have toxin on your processor, which is HP and toxin only, and a double HP if you can on the polar knights, on the auxiliary power. And this is what the toxin is going to look like, 8,328. However, it's going to get boosted when you activate the skill by 250%. Let's go and have a casual conversation with Deathstalker and casual players, just to showcase you what I mean. What do we have? Well, we have a Glay and we have a Bunny. Oh, this is perfect. Glay and Bunnies are gonna die really quickly. Probably Freyna is gonna be the only one tanking. You can tell we're gonna keep this up at all time, and I'm gonna go and try and tank as quickly as possible. Let me go and tank this bad boy. It's a lady, by the way. And the reason why this build is so good is because you can take your time. And whenever you don't feel comfortable with the shields, just grapple. Boom. Extra shields. There you go. Now you get some composite toxin resistances, so you're pretty good. And you have no problem tanking this fella, eh? Oh, I have a problem. I don't like it. Whee! I'm just gonna get some extra shields. And that's it. You can keep it up at all times. There's literally no problem, and Enduring Legacy is gonna do all the hard work for you. The damage has never been a problem with these hard-hitting bosses. The wipe doesn't happen because people don't have damage. Because everybody comes in here with damage. Problem is that everybody comes only with damage and everybody dies. We don't really need that much damage. You know. And Freyna hits pretty decently even now. So there's hardly anything you need to do. Oh, there you go. Someone died. You have to run there and alive them. You see? Because people now are gonna start to die. Anyway, you can tell I am very comfortable and I don't care. So if you move around a bit and you pay attention, there's no way you're gonna die. Okay? Now, if you don't know this mechanic, this is gonna be pretty quickly. When it becomes immune, it's gonna give you some of these faces around. Okay? What you want to look at is the face that gets covered. This is the one area you want to capture. And she's gonna start digging in and put a lot of toxin damage. So this is exactly where toxin comes in handy. Everybody is gonna die right here. Most of them are probably gonna die. Bunny for sure. Hopefully not. But because all of this is poison damage, there you go. Oh, there you go. You see? You want to keep them alive. This is what kills them. This is how you wipe. You see, you don't need the damage. This guy's gonna die again. You see, I already know it. Because I know exactly how they work. This is what you need. This is how you support them. You need to keep them alive. Obviously, if you have a Eugene, probably is even better. But you know, not everybody has a Eugene. And just give them in chat. If you want to, if you see they go for a heal and you know that they're gonna die if they go for a heal, just tell them, like, don't worry guys, I'll do the healing. Just focus on staying alive. And if somebody dies, you just do the healing. That's it. She's almost half health with everybody been sitting on the floor and me doing damage only with Enduring Legacy. Okay? But look at that. Boom. You see? I'm keeping them alive. I'm trying to put some damage. I'm trying to take aggro as much as I can, which I'm not doing a very good job. For some reason, she's attacking everyone. But this is the perfect example of a casual playthrough. If I go in there with a not so great build, I'm not gonna do that well, is it? This build doesn't do that much damage, but is a game of patience. And I can help much more. Okay? And I'm gonna try to take aggro from her so they can capture. And I'm just trying to focus around what my teammates do. Okay, I see Dark Mr. Pickles is very low on health, so I'm gonna try to pay attention, ready to jump in. If Pickles dies. I don't even know where the hell Pickles is. Oh, there you go. They're over there. And I need to find the face that covers the eyes. So I'm just gonna jump up. Is that one over there? But I'm not gonna go alone. Because I need to wait for them, because if they die, I need to revive them. So I need them to come with me. If I just run over there quickly, alone, what's gonna happen is everybody dies, I have to go revive them, otherwise we wipe. So I'm trying effectively to keep the death count to 3 and not go below. Which is not easy to pull off. But we try. This is what helps you to stay alive. This is what helps you to win battles. Time is not a problem. Damage is not a problem. I think I'm repeating myself a bit. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Just focusing on them. Mr. Pickles is almost dead. Mr. Pickles is going to die right here. Zongley. Glay without Eugene in here, it's pretty much a death sentence, I would say, most of the time, because you can't really use much of the much of anything, really. Which is a shame, really, for Glay, because Glay, she's so good, but she can't really do much on this fight without Eugene around. Such a shame. Anyway, fight is almost over, and I'm taking my time. I'm focusing on the fact that Mr. Pickles is almost dead every single second because she's on Glay, or he's on Glay, whatever. But there you go. This battle is almost done. Easy peasy. And I don't have any damage on me. You see? Not that difficult. Not that difficult. So this is exactly proves my point perfectly. You don't need some really experienced teams or anything. You just need to pay attention to what other people do. And this is gonna make your life a lot easier. You know, because I got another car stabilizer. Great, I have like 50 of them. This is pretty much it. I think this explains it perfectly. It captures the essence of how Death Stalker with casuals is fought. So, do bear in mind, this build can be improved upon. In the sense, if you go in there with a bit of courage, and what I mean by that is, you go in there with a bunch of friends that have decent builds, nothing crazy. They don't have Lunas and Enzos to buff you up or anything. But, you know, you are quite confident in all of you have some pretty good understanding of the boss. Of course, you can risk taking off some of the shields in favor of more damage. If you know you can do that, obviously you can do some modifications. For example, you can take a strong mentality off and you can put some damage. Effectively, you can put some damage. You can do a toxic amplification. You can do the focuses one. The focuses one probably are the best one. You can do a focus on toxic, and you can do a focus on tech somewhere, like here. If you want to farm that Stalker as well, you know, use the set. Use the set directly, which is pretty good. You get some 14% skill power, which is not as good as the Slayer set, or you can use the Slayer set if you're confident. Or you can also put short focus if you want. If you feel frisky, you can put short focus for extra damage if you have it. If you don't have it, well, tough luck. And this is gonna be more than enough to help you. You need to pay more attention to what your teammates are doing rather than what your boss is doing. Simply because your teammates are the ones that if they don't know what they're doing, they don't know the mechanic, or they don't have the build to survive, and they die, is the reason why you wipe most of the time. That's pretty much it. 20 minutes in. I wanted to make this video a lot shorter, but I think I'm gonna leave it 20 minutes because pretty much everything I say, I think it's quite important. Anyway, next I'm gonna do the glass cannon builds, the one that everybody does, which I think is stupid. It's stupid just because everybody thinks that is a build that you should use in these fights, which is why everybody dies here. And these are not very well thought out builds. Those builds have another scope entirely, which I think is missed, but by the audiences. But whatever, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Ciao, I'll see you tomorrow. Let me know what you think about the video, and ciao. It's been a pleasure.